Thursday's CASEing the Catalogue. Now today I'm actually stamping straight from the Celebration Catalogue and it's on page 3 that we're using. I love this little stamp set, it's so cute. The Gangs All Meer is the stamp set and we're going to case this card just here. Love this card, it's so sweet. There it is, all beautiful. Let's get over to the craft table and we'll get started. This is such a cute and fun card. The supplies needed for this card are the Gangs All Meer. Now this is a celebration item. It's a free item for every $90 here in Australia. You get to choose a free item and this can be chosen with a $90 order. I also have the stitched nested label dies and we're using the second largest in those dies, so that one there. These little rhinestones in the back are the Gingham Gala adhesive backed sequins. That comes in a pack. That's in the annual catalogue as well. We have the Versamark ink and we're using both the black and white embossing powder. So we're also using the heat tool with that as well. I have some of the watercolour pencils. We have Early Espresso, Balmy Blue, Melon Mumbo, Calypso Coral, Daffodil Delight, Granny Apple Green, and also the Bermuda Bay is the other colour. We're using the 3/4 inch circle punch and that's just for this gorgeous background here, which now that shows it just a little bit easier. It's just a little bit of a funky detail. And I have my kit here all ready to go. Now all the measurements and supplies can be found over my blog. There is a link to that blog post in the description of this video. There's also a link to my online store if you would like to purchase any Stampin' Up supplies for this card or for another card. You can do so in my online store. Pop in the hostess code for this month and I'll send you out a homemade gift or card. You'll also receive via your email a bundle tutorial. These are printable PDF tutorials, all free to you. And I'll also be, well, if you order anything over $50, you'll also receive Inky rewards. So you can check that out over my blog as well. So we have the Coastal Cabana card base. This is half a piece of A4. It's been scored again in half. And we're just going to burnish that fold line just there. I don't need that for a little while, but I also have another piece of Coastal Cabana for our punching of all our circles. We have a piece of Calypso Coral for our sentiment and a piece of shimmery white, which we are going to do our beautiful image here. So we're going to start off with this one. I'm going to bring the big shot in and we're going to just die cut that nested framelit there. I'm just going to run that one through really quickly. Because we are heat embossing all these images in black embossing powder, I'm going to bring my buddy in and I'm just going to quickly add a little bit of powder down. Because it's the black powder, I find it's super fine and it gets everywhere, so the embossing buddy is a must. I'm going to bring in the Versamark ink and we have two images that we're going to stamp. So the cactus and that gorgeous little lizard. And I'm going to start off with the lizard, maybe an iguana, a baby iguana, not sure. Anyway, I'm going to just pop him down right there. Then I'm going to do the cactus right next to him on his left side. A little bit hard to see that, but hopefully that is in the right spot. And then we're going to do one more cactus down slightly. So we are going to do one more cactus, but we need to pop this powder down and heat emboss it before we can do the next step. So, black embossing powder. This one is super fine. I'm not sure whether they're all super fine, but this is a Stampin' Up one. It's certainly a lot finer than any of the other embossing powders that I've purchased. There we have it. I'm going to bring the heat tool in. We're just going to heat set that. I'm going to bring in just some post-it notes, and I'm just going to stamp it with some Memento Tuxedo black ink. I'm going to stamp that up where the sticky is. And I'm just going to fussy cut that out really quickly, and I just want to cut out where the cactus is. I'm not going to worry about the soil or anything like that. And this is just creating a mask for our card. And it's mainly the right hand side that we're focusing on. So there we have it. Let's pop that down over the top. I'm going to just take off that Memento Tuxedo black ink, because we're going to use the Versamark again. You want to make sure you're getting rid of that black. You don't want to put that black straight into your Versamark. Just dry that off again. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to stamp one on the back, at the back where, and over that mask. Take off our mask. Bring the embossing powder back in. I probably should have hit that with the embossing buddy again. I'm just going to take off that excess powder over the top there. And bring that in to show you. See how the cactus is now sitting on the back. So let's pop the heat tool back over that and heat set that last cactus. Now that's right to start colouring in. While we have the heat tool quite warm, I'm also going to bring in that little piece of Calypso Coral. Because we are heat embossing, I'm going to run the embossing buddy over it. And we're using white powder this time round. And I have the sentiment that is from that set. It actually says, we're here for you, but we just need the for you. So I'm also going to bring in some more post-it notes, mask off the part that we don't want. Can't believe I just stuck that in my powder. Anyway, Versamark down to the stamp. We're just going to ink up the for you. Make sure you take the post-it note off your block, and then we're going to try and line this up as best as we can. Hopefully we do a good job, or hopefully I do a good job. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, I'm going to bring the white powder in. Because this is teeny tiny, I'm going to bring in my tweezers, and I've got a little bit of stuff there. There we go. I'm going to heat that up as well. And I think because where I've stamped it at the top, I can just take a little slither off the bottom to make it a little bit centered. I think I've got rid of all the stray pieces of embossing powder. Let's bring in our pencils and we can start just coloring in this gorgeous label. So we're using the Early Espresso, and I'm just popping a little bit of color down. I'm not going to a lot of effort. It's a quick card to put together. There we have it. So nice and easy. About that much colour. I'm going to move down to the Granny Apple Green, and I'm just going to colour in all those cactuses. I made it a really nice bright green. I'm going to make sure that I stay away from where the embossing has been embossed. If you go over that too much, you will actually, it will scratch some of that off. So you want to be really careful as you colour around your image. I'm pressing quite hard down on my pencil. I like my cactuses to be really green. I don't want them to be washed out. I want them to look really pretty. And I'm also going to go around with the Granny Apple Green around my iguana or lizard. He's so cute. I'm going to bring the Daffodil Delight one in, and I'm also just going to pop in a little bit of that yellow around the cactus. So just inserting some colour here and there. And also with the little circles on the lizard, I'm doing them in yellow as well. Moving on to the cactus flower, I want to add Melon Mumbo. And just popping a little bit of pink on top. I'm also going to go in with the Calypso Coral and just add a little bit of coral colour in as well. And lastly, we're just going to add a little bit of the sky and around. So I'm going to start off with the Bermuda Bay. So same as we did for the soil, just adding a little bit in. And then I'm going to bring in the Balmy Blue as well. So there's two colours in the sky. And that's as easy as that was to colour. That was really, really easy. I'm going to bring my aqua painter in. And this is the smallest nib in the 2-pack set. And let's just go in. We're going to go in and colour the little lizard and the cactuses, and I'm just sticking to same colours for the time being, and this just blends the colours in together, makes them a little bit vibrant. I've definitely put more Daffodil Delight in these cactuses than I did on my original. I'm going to just take that colour off on a bit of baby wipe. Then I'm going to go in with the flowers on top. So that looks really good so far. I'm going to start with the Early Espresso down the bottom. Just creating the dirt. Now I want to bring that colour down just slightly. I don't want it to be just sitting there with nothing underneath it. So that's really good. It's a little bit more darker underneath the objects, which is how a little bit more darker underneath the objects, which is the shadows from those objects. So I'm going to get rid of that brown, and then we're going to just go in and lighten the blue. Be careful not to go in with the other colours, you will blend them all together otherwise. So I haven't done anything special here. It's been really quick and easy to do. Lovely. Now we can go through, once this dries, we can go back and add a bit more colour, and I might do that with the green. I could probably even go in and add a little bit of garden green. That would bring a little bit more green to it. I'm going to heat that with the heat tool just to dry it a little bit faster. So I've just gone and picked up my garden green. Let's go in and just add a bit of garden green in there as well, just to bring a little bit more greenery rather than the yellow. And I'll just blend those colours in a little bit as well. Yeah, much better. Yeah, that looks really good. Let me bring that a little bit closer so you can see it. Very sweet. Okay, so we can work while that's drying. Let's work on the card base. And I have the 3/4 of an inch circle punch, and we're just going to punch a whole heap of circles. So hopefully we have enough there. And we're going to be gluing these both off the page and cutting them off, because I want them to be not just all uniformed. I think that looks quite good. I'm just going to use the Tombow glue to place them all down. So I'm happy with all those that are coming off the page. Oh, let's stick that one down, seeing that one wasn't even stuck down. I'm going to just go through with my snips and just cutting off on the back of the card base. This does gunk up your paper snips, so you will have to clean them when you do this. This is curled slightly just from the heat embossing and the adding water. So I like to just try and pop it back the other way. It's also going to be popped up with some dimensionals, so that will help keeping it down. And because we've both heat and watered this, I want to add quite a few dimensionals to it. I want it to sit down really nice and flat and be well supported. There we have it. And this is just going to get popped straight down over the top of the card base. So this card is really great. It uses minimal supplies, but it's so stunning with that popped background. So let's stick it over the top, centering. Have the sentiment in here. Just going to get rid of that excess powder there that we put down, and I'm just going to bring my paper snips in, just center that a little bit better. So just taking off a slither. I'm going to pop that up with some dimensionals as well, so 2 should be enough for that one, and it's a perfect size for the normal size dimensionals. Popping that down. And lastly, we have the Gingham Gala adhesive backed sequins, and I'm just going to use this gorgeous lemon lime twisty colour, and I'm going to use the sequin. They come in both flowers and sequins. I'm going to pop 3 of those down. One just over here as well. Isn't that gorgeous? Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this gorgeous card. If you have, please give me a thumbs up, and I'd love it if you left me a comment. All the measurements and supplies can be found over my blog, and there is a link to my online store there as well. Until next time, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye.